Welcome all to the presentation. This is Dr. Saranan. In this video I am going to explain about how to solve an assignment problem using MS Excel. Here the assignment model I am going to discuss is going to be an unbalanced assignment model. Hope all are ready. Let me start with some basic understanding about an assignment problem. So the most important characteristics of an assignment problem is going to be each job or a worker can be assigned to at most one machine or one project and vice versa, right? To the maximum time, assignment model is to minimize the cost. So the objective of the assignment model is going to be minimization of cost, and I am going to explain here about the unbalanced assignment model. Okay, so what is an unbalanced assignment model? You see, in this example we can see that there are three staffs A, B and C. These three staffs are going to be assigned to the offices 1, 2, 3 and 4. So which means one office is not going to be filled by any of these staff members. Fine. So this is called an unbalanced assignment model. So the demand will not be equal to the supply, or the sources will not be equal to the destination. So which means the matrix will not be a square matrix. So what's a square matrix? So if it is 3 into 3 or 4 into 4, it's a square matrix. So that will be a balanced model. But here in this model we have 3 into 4 matrix. So 3 rows and 4 columns. So this is a unbalanced assignment model. Okay, so let us start with the solution. So I am going to create two matrices, right? So one matrix is the cost matrix, already we have in this problem. So one matrix is going to be cost matrix, and the next matrix is going to be the assignment matrix, right? Assignment matrix. So in this assignment matrix, you see there is actually 12 variables, right? So I will just highlight it. Okay, so there are 12 variables. 12 variables. So what are those 12 variables? So XA1, XA2, XA3, XA4, right? XB1, XB2, XB3, XB4, XC1, XC2, XC3, XC4. So there are 12 variables in our problem. So 12 variables and 12 unit cost. So these are all unit cost. So 800 is the cost if staff A is going to be placed in office 1. So similarly we can understand for the other offices and staffs. Okay, so now I am going to define, right? I am going to define what is going to be the supply and demand. Okay, so supply can also be called as flow out. Okay, flow out. Okay, so the formula I am going to use here is the sum function, the basic sum function we have, right? So staff A can be supplied to office 1, 2, 3 or 4. So it is sum of office 1 to 4. Similarly, office staff B can be supplied, or else the staff B can be assigned to the office 1, 2, 3 or 4. Okay, so similarly staff C can be assigned to the office 1, 2, 3 or 4. Clear? Right. So this is supply. Then demand. So demand can also be called as flow in, right? So the office 1 is going to be filled by either A, B or C. So it is flow in. So the formula here is again sum function, sum of, right? So these three cells. Okay, and here. So I will just copy. automatically it will change. You can see here sum has changed. So these are all the cells. Okay, so here also it changed, and in office 4 also it changed. So this is supply or flow out, and this is demand or flow in. So now I have defined the two matrix from which I am going to frame the equations, right? As you all know that assignment problem works out in linear programming logic. So in linear programming, so there will be two things that has to be discussed. One is the objective function. So the objective function can be a minimization or maximization. For assignment model, always or else to the maximum extent, your objective function will be a minimization. So that is minimizing of cost. And another, we have to frame certain equations. So equations is basically framed based on the constraints. Here there are actually two constraints. One is supply constraint. One is supply constraints. So how many supplies are there? There are 3 supplies. So staff A, staff B, staff C. So there are C supply constraints, right? And how many demand constraints are there? We have 4 demand constraints, right? 4 demand constraints. What are those 4 demand constraints? The demand is going to be in 4 offices. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? Right. So now I am going to decide what is the flow in and flow out. Based on that, I am going to decide what is going to be the net flow. Clear? So what are the flow ins? Just check for A, B and C. For A, B and C, there is only flow outs. There is no flow in. So flow ins are 0. Then what is flow out? Flow out is just the supply parameter or the formula we have used. So equal to this cell. Fine. For B equal to the corresponding B cell. For C the corresponding C cell. Clear? So here I have used some formula cells. So I will highlight it with a different color. Fine. Then for the demand constraints 1, 2, 3 and 4, that is office 1, office 2, office 3 and office 4, they have flow ins. So what are the flow ins? So it is equal to flow in of office 1 equal to flow in of office 2 equal to flow in of office 3 equal to flow in of office 4, right? So again here I have used formulas, and so I will highlight it with the color, right? So what are the flow outs for 1, 2, 3 and 4? You can see here for office 1, 2, 3 and 4 we have only flow in. There is no flow out, right? So these are demands. So the flow outs are zeros, right? So what is net flow? Net flow is equal to flow in minus flow out. Okay, I'll just drag, automatically the formula will get pasted. You can see here. Fine. So this net flow is the left hand side, right? LHS, that's left hand side of a linear equation. So what is going to be the right hand side of a linear equation? So for an assignment problem, as the characteristics has been explained already, right? You can see here each job or worker can be assigned to at most one machine. So it is only one, right? So we have to differentiate between the supply constraint and the demand constraint. For supply we will be using negative symbol. So minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. So from one place it is going to move to another place. So A is going to be filled in 1, 2 or 3 or 4 office. So I am going to use negative symbol for supplies, and for the demands I am going to use positive symbols. Okay, so between the LHS and RHS there is going to be some directions. So the directions can be less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, or equal to. Right? So there are three possibilities: equal to, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. If it is a balanced assignment model, so the LHS will be equal to RHS. But here in this case, since it is an unbalanced assignment model, we need to check which is greater, whether supply is greater or demand is greater. You can see here in this problem, supply is actually less than demand. Right? Hope you can understand. So there are three supplies, staff A, B and C. So three people. So they are going to be placed or else assigned for 4 offices. So your supply is actually less than demand. So in this case, for supply constraint, we should use, for supply constraint we should use equal to symbol. Okay, we have to use equal to symbol. Okay, I'm just trying to explain. Okay, we need to use equal to symbol. Then for demand constraint, what we need to use? For demand constraint, we need to use less than or equal to. Hope you can understand. If supply is less than demand, supply constraints equal to, and the demand constraints, what is it? The demand constraints less than or equal to. Here in this case, you can see supply constraint. So the supply constraints are equal to. Okay, so LHS is equal to RHS, and the demand constraints are less than or equal to. Less than or equal to. Clear? Fine. Hope you can understand. So this is a case when supply is less than demand. Here you can see LHS less than or equal to RHS for demand constraints and equal to for supply constraint. What if the case is supply is greater than demand? In case if supply is greater than demand, right? So your demand constraint, right? Your demand constraint will be equal to, and supply constraint will be greater than or equal to, right? Not less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, right? Fine. So I hope you have understood the logic. Okay, fine. Now I need to define the solution matrix, solution cell. Okay, solution, or you can call as an answer cell. You can call it as an answer cell, right? So for answer, I am going to use again a function called as sum product, right? So the sum product is actually need to have 2 arrays at least. So what are the 2 arrays I am going to use, right? So one is the cost array, right? One is cost array, and the next array is the variable array, right? So the variables here, I'll be getting the answers here. Okay, so the variables. Fine. So next step is make use of the data solver option available in data menu, right? Just click OK. Fine. So set objective. So the objective is, I have defined here that sum product function cell. So it is K, what's it? K20. So K20 is the objective cell. So what is the objective? Objective of our assignment problem here is, since it is related to cost, it is going to be minimization. So which variable cells has to be changed? So this is variable cell where I am going to get the answers, where the people are going to be assigned. Okay, so the variable cells I have chosen. Then I need to define the constraints, right? So there are 2 constraints, one is supply and another one is demand. Just click add. Okay, so first I will complete equal to, okay, the supply constraint. So there are 3 equations for supply. Okay, so the symbol is equal to. Here I need to choose a symbol carefully. The constraints are the RHS for those three equations, right? Just click add. Then I need to define the less than or equal to. So I will choose the LHS of the 4 demand constraint equations. Then it should be less than or equal to demand constraints. Then the constraint here is the all 4 ones here, right? The RHS. Okay, I have chosen. Right, just click OK. You can see here the objective variable cells and the constraint is defined. Make sure this box is checked, and simplex LP is the solving method we need to use. Okay, just click solve. Okay, just give the parameter, click OK. Fine. So the answer is 2400. So what is this? Okay, so the answer 400 here, what does it mention? Okay, see here, if the staff A is assigned to office 1, staff B is assigned to office 4, and staff C is assigned to office 1, the minimum cost of functioning is going to be 2400. So how can we verify the answer? Let's see. So what is the cost of office here? 1100. Okay, I'll just try to bold it. 1100, right? And staff B is assigned to office 4, bold. Okay, then staff C is assigned to which office? Office 1. Okay, so which means office 3 is not assigned to any people. Okay, just add the cells that I have made bold. See here, 1100, 500, 1600, 1600 plus this 800, 2400. We got the answer 2400. So we have solved an assignment model which is an unbalanced assignment model.